What is going on? Today is Thursday, August the 20th. And today's lesson, we're going to continue to look at how to identify notes and key signatures. But let's review just real quick what we talked about yesterday. We talked about with our treble clef here. It's also the same things I'm teaching you now apply to the bass clef. We're just not looking at the bass clef right now because I don't want to overwhelm you. If we want to do some notes below the lines and below the staff, we call that an E. We know that's every good bird does fly. What would that be? We talked about it yesterday. It'd be a D. What would this be? It would be a C because be a C because C always comes before D. This would be a B. This would be an A. This would be a G. All right, we covered that yesterday. Let's talk about going above the lines. Now, sopranos will often encounter notes above this top line, and handbells do all the time. We do it in handbells all the time. So this is an F, as we know. What comes after F? Again, not a trick question. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Go here. So that's an F, G. What comes after G in music? Now, in the regular alphabet, H. But G is the end of the musical alphabet. What comes after G? We start all over. A. What is that space right there above that ledger line? What comes after A? B. Rarely do we see choir pieces for high schoolers this high. Occasionally we'll see a B or a C. I think we did something last year that had a C and had in it, but we don't see anything that high. We do see it often in handbells. I'm pretty sure we have a D, this D right here in our handbell collection. You can keep going up. Let's see what I do. I already did that. Wait a minute. Maybe C, D, E. You can just keep on going. E, F, G, but we don't do that very often. But if you know to here, you're doing pretty good. So that's how you do that. Now let's go back to talking about the key signatures. Remember, you have to have a pattern in this scale. The first note, you don't count that. You start right there, and then from there you go whole step, half step. Whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. That's 2 whole steps and a half step, 3 whole steps and a half step, 2 whole steps and a half step, 3 whole steps and a half step. So, if there is one flat, that is the key of F. F major. So let's say I give you a quiz, and I want you to identify this key, and I want you to identify this key. There's 2 answers, okay? So you're going to put, you don't have to put major right now because these are all going to be majors, so just write the letter. You would put F. That's F, Mr. Holmes. How do I know? Because I memorized that. These are the 2 you have to memorize. And that's no sharps or flats, that's C. Okay? So those are 2 you have to memorize. It's not hard. Memorize it. You memorize geometry formulas and all kinds of things. Memorize these 2, and that's it. After that, I'm going to show you a trick, okay? Now, when you have patterns in flats, the trick for the flats is a little different from the tricks for the sharps, so don't get these 2 mixed up. That's why we're only dealing with flats today. Tomorrow we'll talk about sharps, okay? So, only deal with flats today. If there's one flat, you know it because you memorize it, that's key of F. But they always come in a pattern. Nobody goes, let's throw a flat in here, maybe one here. Oh, looks like a good place for a flat. Music doesn't work that way because those patterns will not hold up. You've got to have whole step, half step, whole step, half step. I know I'm saying that a lot. I'm going to say it enough that it gets in your brain and you won't forget it. It always comes in this particular pattern. If there's one flat, it's always an F. It's always a B flat. If there's 2, there's always an E flat. If there's 3, it's always an A, B, E, A, and always in this order. Never mix the order up. B flat, E flat, A flat. If there's a 4th one, you add a D flat. If there's a 5th one, you add a G flat. If there's a 6th one, you add a C flat. Always in that order. Now, you don't have to memorize all these because I'm going to show you how to figure it out. What you do is you find the last flat written. Now, when there's 1, that's the key of F. There's no trick here. You just got to memorize it. This is the last flat, right? This is the last flat. That is not the key, though. It's an E flat, but the key is not E flat. You're going to find the last flat, and then you're going to go to the one that came before it. Now, I know it's going up and down, and so you may get a little confused by that. Remember, this is going from left to right, even though it goes up and down. Let me show you this. No, it won't work. I usually demonstrate with students in the room, and I have 3 rows of chairs, and I'll say, okay, the person furthest to my left is Sally. The next person is in the same row to my left is Jim. But the next person's away on the back row. But they're still, from my perspective, the next person in that order, and that's Jim Bob. So it's still going left to right. So that's how you do that. So this right here is the key. All right, this is the key. What do you think that key is? Just think about it for a minute. I want you to think about it. If you think about it, you'll learn it better. It is B flat, right? B flat. Okay. So I want to stop right there and come back to that in a minute. I want to show you on the piano what the C scale, the F major scale, and the B flat scale, and what that looks like. Now, if you remember the C scale, there are no sharps or flat. So here we have a key. Here we have a C. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. No black notes. Key of F, though, here's an F. Right below these 3 black notes is the F. So we're going to have that 1 flat, the B flat. So it'd be like this. Now, I only play the B flat. That's the only black note that gets played in that scale because that's all there is. Remember, it's whole step, whole step. Here goes to a half step. If you played a whole step here, it wouldn't sound right. That's awful. Sounds terrible. We need to have that half step. Half step. Now we got to go to a whole step. We can't go here. This is a B. This is a B flat. You're not going to have the double B's in a scale. You're just going to have 1 B, whether it's a B flat or a B. So you got to go up to the whole step. Here's a half step. Here's a half step. Makes a whole. And that's why there's 1 flat in the key of F. Let's look at the key of B flat. So here we're already on that B flat. Now we're going to have two flats. Look at the board again. We're going to have the B flat and the E flat. So here we go. B flat. This is an E, so we're going to flat the E. Then go to the F. B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat. And that's the B flat scale in the key of B flat. Or we can do it like this. Whole step, half step. Now we've got to go whole, which would be here. Whole step, half step. And that's why that is. So and I'm not going to show you every one of these keys. I think you get the idea. I'm going to show you how to identify them, but I think you're going to see why there are certain flats in certain keys. So the next one. So this is you find that last flat, and then go to the one that came right before it, and that is your key. That's the answer if I give you that on a test. Oops, I didn't mean to erase that. All right, let's do if there's 3, okay? Which one's the last one? If we're going left to right. This one. What is that? F-A-C-E? That is an A flat. Is that the key? No. If I show you that on the test and say to identify this key, you put A flat, it is wrong. It's not right at all. That is an A flat, but we're not worried about the last one. We find it, and we're going to go back to the one that came right before it. I like to say the next to the last, but I think that confuses some people, it seems. So we'll just say find the last one, go to the one before it. What is that? F-A-C-E. So your key is E flat. You would start, E flat would be the tonic note in that key. The home note, the key note, okay, is E flat. And you would have to, on the piano, have to get into my brain to play. Every time I see a B or an E or an A, I'm not going to play the white notes. I'm going to play the flat, the one right below it, okay? If there are 4 notes, Oh, by the way, if you're a handbell ringer, you'll need to know that too. So if you're ringing handbells and you're assigned the A and the B, and you see this key signature, you don't have to ask me. You can ask me when we're ringing if you forget. That's okay. I won't criticize you. I won't, it's fine. But I want you to get where you can do it. And you as a musician, I want you to be able to do it. To go, okay, I see now. I'm looking at the key signature, and when I start to mark my music, I'm going to look at the key signature first, and I'm going to notice I'm the A player and the B player. I'm going to play A flat and B flat. That's how that works. If I'm playing the E, I'm going to play the E flat, the black note. Now, it's interesting because let me show you a D. I'll go ahead and talk about the D flats. Forget that. All right, so also, it's every B and every A and every E. Every B, E, A in this piece of music is flatted unless the composer shows you differently later. We'll talk about that another time. The natural signs, I think you saw in that video. So it doesn't matter if this B, if it's that B, if it's that B, they're all flat, okay? They won't write it in the key signature for every one, but that means all of those B's are flat, all of them, all right? Same with the E's and the A's. All right, let's keep going. So that, if I ask you on a test what the is, you're going to say I'm in the key of E flat, okay? What about the next one? It's always in this pattern. So we go. We've got the B flat, the E flat, the A flat, and the D flat. This is the last one, and we're going to find the one that came before it. So what is your key? I want you to think about it for a minute. This is the last flat. The one that came before it is your key. What is that? F, A. So your key is A flat. If you put A, by the way, that is wrong. Oh, here's a word that I want you in the assignment today for watching this. I want you to write, number one thing I want you to write is A flat. Okay, that's what I want you to write, A flat. That's all you have to write. I'm going to give you a couple more before we end. All right, so that's show me that you're watching it. So there's this. If you put A, that's wrong. It's A flat, and you will not write it like this. I will not count it wrong. If you were to give you a written test and you wrote that, that's just not how musicians do it. We do it like this, with a little flat up here. Not next to it, not like this, but like this. Like that, A flat. All right, so if we added another flat, this is the last one. B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat. It always comes in this order. There's the one that came before it. Your key is D flat. Right? Okay. If we do one more, and we write a C flat, you don't see this key very often, but you can sometimes. Then we're going to go B flat, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat. This came before it, and there is the key of G flat. Again, do not write G. It is totally wrong. Just like I have a brother. His name is Phil. My name is Gregory Holmes. He's Phil Holmes. We have the same last name. We are not the same person, right? So he's taller than I am, got dark hair. We don't even really look alike. So, but we have the same last name, but we're not the same person. So G is a whole different note, a whole different key. It shares a name with G flat. It is not the same key, so you have to put G flat to be correct. It would be totally wrong. I can't give you half credit. It's totally wrong. All right. So just like if you came up to me and said, "Hey Phil, how you doing?" I'd say, "That's my brother. I think you're mistaken." So it's not the same person. All right. So that's it. For the lesson for today. And the second word, I said I was going to give you two more. I'm just going to give you three. The final word for today that I want you to type in there is flats, F-L-A-T-S. Write the word flats. So you write A flat and then write the word flats. Number two, send that to me so I know you watched it and you'll get credit for it. And if you have any questions, let me know. Bye.